Hey guys, it's Kelly and Daniel from FitnessLimiter.com. Today we have a quick cardio warm-up for you. We have 10 different exercises that we're going to be doing for 30 seconds apiece. You're not going to need any equipment, and this routine is going to be great to get you ready for any of our other workout videos. So let's go ahead and get started.
As Kelly said, we're going to be going through each one of these exercises for 30 seconds. So let's go ahead and get started with our first one, which is going to be a boxer shuffle. In 3, 2, 1, and start out. Try to stay up on the ball of your foot as much as you can. Nice quick motion, hopping back and forth from foot to foot. You want to try to stay as light as you possibly can on those feet, moving back and forth as quickly as possible. And you might want to start a little slower when you first start into this exercise. But as we get further through this, start to try to speed up a little bit more, get that heart rate up a little bit more, start trying to warm those muscles up more. Got about 5 seconds left until we switch to an overhead reach with stretch. And go ahead and switch. Nice tall stretch with those hands over top of your head. Then down to those feet and back up. Go ahead and round that lower back as you stretch down towards those toes. And come back up, nice straight spine, you come up to the top. Just alternate back and forth. Nice deep breath into the top. Exhale as you go down towards those toes. Make sure you keep the motion under control, nice and slow. You don't want to get those arms out of control, just swing them around. You always want to make sure those arms are under control. And let's go ahead and switch to a slow high knee march. Just pulling those knees up nice and high. Remember, this is a slow high knee march, so you're mainly focusing on trying to get as much range of motion in those legs as you can, as opposed to trying to move quickly and really trying to get that heart rate up. Don't worry, those muscles used in this exercise will do just fine getting that heart rate up, and just fine getting that core temperature up. Got about 5 seconds left until we switch to a torso twist. And switch it. Nice slow rotation left to right. Again, you're moving slowly, but you're trying to focus on getting as much range of motion as you possibly can. You can let those hips rotate left to right a little bit if you want to get those hips into it a little bit more, that hip socket. Otherwise, you can keep those hips perfectly parallel to the wall or to the ground and just rotate from that torso, keeping those hips stationary. Now you got about 5 seconds left until we switch to an alternating toe touch. And go ahead and switch it. This is an alternating toe touch kick, so that leg's going to come up in front, reaching down towards that foot with the opposite hand. Again, nice controlled motion. You don't want to just kick that leg uncontrollably. You want to feel like you can almost stop at any point through this motion and hold it. You should feel a little bit of a stretch, that hamstrings, you reach down towards that toe. And the main thing, though, is trying to warm up that lower back and those glutes, as well as that hip flexor in the front, trying to really get everything nice and limber. And switch to a full torso circle next. Going all the way around a nice big circle, pausing at the top, stretching that chest down towards those toes, keeping a relatively flat back. Legs nice and straight, maybe just a tiny, tiny bit of a bend in those knees, but otherwise pretty much perfectly straight. Got a lateral step toe touch coming up next. And go ahead and switch it. Just stepping back and forth. Nice slow controlled motion again. You want to again start trying to work that range of motion. Squat down nice and low on that leg that you have underneath you. Kick that other leg out back behind you nice and far. Again, trying to work that range of motion. Everything should be under control. You should never feel like your muscles or your arms or your legs are out of control at any point. We're moving on to squats next in just a few seconds. And go ahead and switch it. This is a traditional squat, nice and deep. You're going to keep those feet just about shoulder width apart, dropping those hips down nice and low. Again, focusing on range of motion. You want to try to get those hips as low as you possibly can, as low as is comfortable for those hips and those knees. Make sure that back stays nice and flat, even though you're not using any weight above your shoulders. It's always a good idea to practice good squat form. We're moving on to jumping jacks in just a second. And go ahead and switch it. So regular jumping jack. This is a lot faster motion, so really be careful not to let those arms and legs go out of control. You want to keep that arm really nice and rigid, contracting that bicep and tricep as well as that shoulder muscle. You want to make sure those legs are nice and controlled as well. A real quick hop out and back in. Just keep those lungs open, breathing normally. That core temperature should be coming up. You might even be starting to break a sweat by this point. Got one more exercise to go. That's going to be high knees. And go ahead and switch it. Moving on to those high knees. And the last one, nice quick motion. Drive those knees up as high as you possibly can. Trying to get a good full range of motion on that leg. Making sure you're barely letting that foot touch the ground before you're pulling it right back up again. Just keep that motion going as quickly as you possibly can. Keep a nice clean form. Drive those knees up as high as possible. Got about 10 seconds left. Keep them going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let it relax. Good job. This warm-up is complete.
Every day's a chance to flip the script, an invitation to
Hey everyone, it's Nico, and today I'm going to be taking you through a complete beginner's flexibility routine. If you're someone who feels that flexibility is one of your weakest suits, this video is for you. So we're going to start standing on the mat, and I'm going to bring my right arm up and just place it over the other side of my head and just let gravity pull me down. This is something that you always want to keep in your mind while you're stretching, is to just let gravity do all of the work. You're not necessarily pushing yourself into anything because that can cause pain. Just letting your neck fall, using the weight of your right arm. Pull on your neck, and then we'll switch to the other side. Again, you don't want to be pulling down on your neck because that could hurt you. Just rest it there. Then we'll wrap both arms behind our head to go forward. Just let it dangle. Every time you breathe, your muscles get more relaxed. And finally, we'll just hang our head back. Maybe shake it a little bit side to side. And now we'll take one roll. And then to the other side. Then we'll roll our shoulders back. And forward. Back. And forward. Then I'll step my feet out to be a little bit more than hip width apart. And we'll plie or bend the knees to reach up and breathe. And then come back down to reach up and breathe. We're going to do this a few times. And what we're doing here is really stretching out the whole body and letting it warm up, getting all of the muscles moving before we start stretching. And this is something that you should always do before you stretch. You don't want to just start pushing your body into something it's not ready for. If your muscles are warm, you're going to find that the flexibility comes much easier. Awesome job, guys. Great. So for this next stretch, I'm going to grab this stool behind me, but you can grab anything in your house that's about that height. A desk, a table, or a chair, anything will work. So if you need to grab that, go ahead and do that now. So I'm going to come and place my feet more than hip width apart, and then we're going to lean forward to rest our hands on this stool. And this is just to make getting into this stretch a lot easier. You really want to make progress here and make sure that you're not putting too much pressure on your hands, but it's there to keep it from being too painful. So let's hold here. Make sure you're breathing, sending oxygen to your hamstrings while you stretch them. And try as hard as you can to relax, because the more relaxed your muscles are, the more flexible they will be. And then I will come up and we'll move it a little bit to the side so that it makes a line with my leg, and then I'll come to the side. In this position, I want to make sure my hips are even and I'm not letting one be higher than the other. And again, I'm breathing. And then we'll come back up and move it to the other side. And you can also be moving your body instead of the stool or chair or whatever you're using. Remember to breathe. And back up. And just one more time for good measure, we're going to come back to the center. So I'm going to come down on my elbows here to give myself a little bit of an extra stretch, but I only recommend doing this if you're able to keep your back flat while doing so. And by that I mean it's engaged, your shoulder blades are